Hello everyone, I hope you're having a wonderful day. Today we have a grand campaign for you. Before we get into this, a couple of announcements first. If you are playing in a match and you want to share your link or your Twitch stream to your perspective playing the match, please send that link to me and I'll put it in a pinned comment in the description of the video. On top of that, I've moved locations, so some things have changed. I've tried to tweak the audio to make sure it's right, but if you have any feedback, please give it. Lastly, congrats to the First Delawares. Their 5th year anniversary today. They've lasted longer than the Confederacy, which is pretty hilarious. But for our grand campaign today, each campaign side is flipping to the opposite sides for both rounds. So first round's going to be the 1st Delaware versus the 12th Virginia on Smith Field, followed up by the Burnside Bridge, which will have the Iron Brigade versus the 11th Mississippi. Before we get into the two battles, thank you to our YouTube members for the support. If you'd like to support, go beneath the video and hit the join button. By doing so, you can get a live stream of all the broadcasts we do. You can advertise your regiment in the bottom of our videos and get an additional broadcast per week. So our regiments for today, on the CSA campaign side, who's on Union for both rounds, you have the 11th Mississippi, 42nd Pennsylvania, 30th Ohio, Davis Brigade, 12th Virginia, 20th Massachusetts, Pickett's Brigade, and the 11th Pennsylvania. Whereas on the Union campaign side, who's on CSA both rounds, you have the Free States Brigade and Iron Brigade, Colquitt's Brigade, Hampton's Legion, 1st Delaware, 17th Michigan, and the 15th Alabama. Thank you to Jackson's Division and 17th Michigan from balancing from what I assume is the CSA side, USA campaign, over to the CSA campaign side to help with balance. And speaking of that, our balance right now is 258. It's dang near perfect artillery-wise. Union has 7, CSA has 6, so Union's up by 1 infantry. Anyways, frontline reporters today representing our USA campaign side on the CSA. You have Lucian from the 15th Wisconsin, and then our CSA campaign representative who's on Union for both rounds. You got Flores from the 11th Mississippi. Appreciate these guys so we can see what's going on the ground while also seeing what is going on in the sky. So Smithfield, it's a map I haven't seen a whole lot, but I like it. It's one of the better drill camp maps. Union, their main spawn is back over here. They got some artillery here. They can either go up this left side, which they originally did, but as of late, Union pushes up this side, right? They like to go through the corn. It gives them a lot of cover. However, CSA in the strong defensive rocks here, putting up a lot of good shots. 1st Delaware and Colquitt's Brigade really wiping out 42nd, 30th, and JD. You have some Midwest Brigade guys moving down to assist as well, but a great positioning there from CSA. It's a real nice defensive spot. This map can be very difficult for the Union just because if they want to push up from this side, it's in the complete open, right? If they get into this woods, then that might be a different story. However, they can go up this side through the corn, and again, it provides cover, but CSA has responded perfectly, holding up in these rocks here. So just a note with Smithfield, in the recent update, the developers gave the defending team 7.5% more tickets, which has seemed reasonable from the few battles I've seen. Union was winning by a lot before the update, and at least the battle that I've seen since the update, it's been a little closer. So it'll be intriguing to see how this round plays out. I'm especially intrigued to see how Burnside's going to be because they changed some boundaries on that, and I've not seen that yet. But that's our next round. So giving the defender 7.5% more tickets on this map. On top of this, the Union weapons for this map, they have the 19th Indiana with the Springfield 61, and they also have the 8th Ohio with the option of the Springfield 61 and the 8th Springfield 55, sorry. 8th Ohio is not a weapon, that's a unit. And then we have the CSA Defense, both companies, the 8th Texas and the 14th Tennessee, rather, both regiments have the same weapons with the option of the Springfield 55, the Enfield, and the Springfield 42. So CSA's got buck and ball, Union does not. But, I mean, we can already see, right? Union pushed up, very aggressive in the corn, they got nearly wiped. Obviously, CSA is going to take a couple hits, but it was Union got hit a lot more with that buck and ball that's great at close range. That's kind of happened. But, I mean, regardless of all that, look at the ticket loss here. Like, the CSA side is down about 1/4 of a stage right now. And, you know, that's just props to Union on that part. So, Union content with the shootout for now. CSA starting to realize they're down on tickets. Fall back, which is the reasonable response from the defenders in a situation like that. And now this just lets Union inch further forward, right? If they want, they can take that position that the CSA had a moment ago. Or if they want, they could try to get aggressive towards the artillery. Now, I will note, capture points in the center of the map, it's kind of small. It's more like this area here, where the capture point is. it's an interesting spot. It can be hard to cap if you're an attacker, but we'll see how Union wants to take this. Union is starting to shift down to this far left side. Love Mississippi kind of leading the way. You do have Iron Brigade over here, though, defending this side. And they're trying to hit the 11 Mississippi approaching this way. Kind of not in a great spot by any means. But, you know, I'm sure Union will appreciate that. I mean, they could just fall back a little more to that snake fence. I mean, obviously it's a little bit hilly and it can be hard shots. But when you're a defender, right, your job is to just, you're just trying to kill time. Pushing forward like this is not going to do you much, right? You might get a couple kills on the 11 Mississippi, but 11 Mississippi is also killing you. And since the attackers have more tickets, it's not like 15th is going and dominating 11 Mississippi, right? If Iron Brigade came in here and dominated 11 Mississippi, then okay, you could understand. But what they're doing right now is they're just kind of evenly trading. 11 Mississippi is getting closer, and regardless of this is not the result you want as a defender. If you're going to push up, this has to be with a large amount of your team in sweeping fashion. And 20th Mass has moved over here as well. Again, it's a similar thing with these FSB guys. 115th Alabama guy, again, don't know what they're doing, right? CSA can't afford ticket losses like this. And, I mean, they're already down a third of a stage, almost to a half.
We should probably get out.
Ball back.
So, Iron Brigade will eventually be pushed out as they are just simply outnumbered there. And again, this is just a ticket loss that USCSA can't really afford. Hello, Artie. So Union on this side, they've inched further down, but they haven't really pushed up on the CSA defensive line on this side, which is a little surprising. Maybe they just want to get their foothold or their position held in. We'll note the officers of this event, they're in a Steam chat, so they can all talk to each other in the midst of the battle. It's not like their officers can't communicate. There is an in-game text chat system which they can use, but obviously since the officers are all on the same call, they're not going to use it. You'll see some events as well where they do the opposite of this, where it's just officers can't communicate with the in-game text chat, or they are in a voice call, so they got to send runners or talk to each other in-game. It always makes battles interestingly, but what's really surprising is the fact that CSA is down half a morale stage. That is probably the most surprising thing out of all of this. Dang.
Get up, boys, get up. It didn't hit us. They suck.
Let them know.
Shifting right.
Alright, let's go, boys. Shift it right. Shift it right.
And Union is going to start inching forward. I mean, they're doing great on time. As an attacker, you generally want to hit the defender down to engage by the 30-minute mark. And I mean, that's if you want to keep a consistent pace throughout the whole round. And that's what they're doing. Or at least at a minimum, like, you want to hit them down to engage by the 30-minute mark if you want a consistently slow pace throughout the whole round. It's like the minimum amount of time you can take to at least stay on pace. So, and they're going to clear that by about 4-ish minutes, which is really good. And I mean, you're just going to keep up the pressure. Again, I don't know if CSA, I assume CSA is taking bucketball. I mean, I know this map is really open, but a lot of the fighting areas, like we've seen here, or in the woods over here, a lot of that's going to be with bucketball in the end, or if you have the charge point as CSA. So, I would be surprised if CSA didn't take bucketball, but maybe that's why Union is kind of rolling over CSA. But unless CSA is dying a lot in skirmishing and out of line, I don't know what is causing these tickets to drop as they are.
Take aim.
Aiming, sir.
So, you can see Union's kind of starting to move out in the open field, get a little more aggressive here. A few more CSA groups have moved into the wood line alongside the Iron Brigade here. Looks like you have a couple of HL guys back here as well. They're further back there. But Union just pushing the pace. Gonna deal some damage here. I do hear some CSA chatter about bucketball, so I'm assuming they're taking it. And CSA any second's gonna hit engage. Now, here's the thing, right? if Union continues the pace of pushing the CSA back, dealing damage, right? Eventually, Union might not be able to get CSA tickets down. So Union has the option to early capture the point. Before the CSA hits breaking, if the Union captures the point, they don't automatically win the game. If it's after breaking, they do. But before the defenders hit breaking, if the attacking team captures the point, they have to hold it for a certain amount of time before they can win. So Union can do that. It would stop the black timer, but everyone would still be losing tickets. The only downside for Union, right, is that if the defenders are down on tickets in a percentage with CSA's down on tickets, right, CSA would go up to the percentage of tickets that the attacking team is at. So let's say hypothetically, right, that Union captured the point and CSA instantly retook it right now. CSA would regain like half morale stage. So generally, as an attacker, if you are in a really good position, like the Union is right now, they have brought CSA down a whole morale stage in a matter of, 12 minutes, which is fairly good. There is no reason for the Union to early cap. Now, if it gets to a point where Union can't deal damage, then you could maybe argue so. But CSA is still putting themselves in positions where they can fight. And if you're Union, you might as well keep going with that. So 15th Alabama, some first Delaware guys up in the center rocks. Meanwhile, CQB is taking their large sum of men. And they're trying to flank the Union here, getting a little aggressive.
One man spacing on the line. One man spacing on the line. Spread it out. Spread it out.
And again, right, if these CSA defensive pushes like this are not sweeps of the Union line, these will generally not going to favor. And now they charge.
You will die meatless! You are meatless!
So, Union appears to hold this. You do have some reinforcements from 12th VA, 15th Alabama pushing up, but Pickett's Brigade perfectly timed there, helping out their friendlies here. And Union will be able to get one CSA flag down and potentially a second one here. Wow. And again, that's the thing is CSA, right? CQB went in a little outnumbered. I don't know what these guys were doing over here. They came in and reinforced. Maybe they're trying to do a pincer motion, but it clearly didn't work if that was the case. But yeah, if you're a defender, you can't push forward on your own and expect to do much on your own. Especially because Union's basically as far as they need to go. Union can push up more if they'd like, but they don't need to, right? The point's right here. They can just kind of hold it and be fine. So CSA almost lost half a morale stage in that little charge sequence there, and they're down 2 flags. So, and Union's taking their already. It's just getting worse and worse for the CSA side.
Ой, ебать, северные артиллеристы, блядь. Герои войны, нахуй. Где они?
Wow. So, now that these flags are down at this point, the CSA, the companies that don't have them, right? They have to spawn at main. The flags allow you to spawn wherever you want, and when you don't have the flags, you got to spawn on your main spawn. So, I mean, it puts you out of the fight for a while. Hurts both sides just as bad. You could argue the attackers more, but regardless, it hurts both sides. And the CSA guys at this point, right, they're going to have a couple issues, right? Obviously, when you can't spawn guys in the line, they spawn main. I know I said this 2 or 3 times, but what happens is, right, you have a line here. If you get into a shootout with somebody and you just start losing, 1 or 2 men every couple of seconds, right, your line's going to be completely spread out as the guys who are dead have to spawn main and then they got to run up. I mean, your line's just completely split apart. Cohesion can kind of break down from that, but also you kind of can't do what you want to do, really. You can't go anywhere because if you go somewhere and you die, like, imagine if CQB, if this was inbounds, right? Imagine they did this massive flank, right? Imagine if it was inbounds, right? But imagine they do this big flank. If a couple of their guys die, they're behind the enemy team, and those guys have to, who are dead, spawn at main, and they can't rejoin the line. I mean, it's just a massive blow. So CSA can either run up and pick up the flags, or there's a 5-minute despawn timer on that. And I really like what Union's doing, right? CSA, you don't want them to get their flags back because it really really restricts what the CSA team can do. So if Union can keep the CSA off the flags, you know, for the 5 minutes that they're down before they despawn, Union can kind of maneuver, do what they want, and always really have an advantage on the CSA side. So I assume that it's out of bounds for Union at that snake fence there. But, I mean, Union could almost charge if they want to. I mean, there's really... there's a whole lot of options here, especially since Union's up by, like, what, 3/4 of a morale stage right now?
Well, we have a good on a rush. We should be good. We got a good on a rush.
So, CSA looks like they've fallen back on this side of the wood line as well. Just trying to kind of keep some team cohesion going on here. Don't blame them for that. And if you're CSA, there's really only one thing you can do at this point, and it's turtle. I know they have rules for it, and I am currently looking for those rules. Alright, let's see. Rule 5. Turtling will not be permitted. Turtling is classed as hiding out of bounds of the enemy, hidden where you are unable to be actively engaged with at least gunfire. If a side is seen to be turtling, an admin will take to the sky and judge whether or not it is indeed turtling or not. Unless it is already blatantly obvious that it is. Punishments for turtling will vary on a case-by-case basis, taking into account the length of the time turtling and the reaction to being told to stop turtling. Alright, so it just affects their tokens for the campaign if they do turtle. I know, because what happened... Is Union going to early cap? The thing is, right, okay. Before they cap, I'll explain. So they had an Anderson's match last year where the CSA were dominating that. I think it was Anderson's, yeah. CSA was dominating the round. That's just kind of how Anderson's goes. And so, the Union team, they turtled in their main spawn. CSA couldn't shoot them down to breaking. They were a sliver away, and CSA couldn't get them down. Eventually, CSA was forced to early cap, like Union kind of is right now. And, the CSA was forced to early cap. And then the Union side pushed right out. And the thing is during an early cap, the rules switch. So the CSA, who was the defenders, is counterattacking. They are now the attacking team. Meanwhile, Union was the attacking team, and now they're defending the point to their defenders. So if the CSA side, who is the attackers, pushes the Union into last stand, because the last stand is normally the defender's last stage, and since Union is now the defending team, they can hit last stand. If CSA forces the Union into last stand in this match, they can capture and win. And that's exactly what happened on the Anderson's match I was talking about. The Union team charged through, knocked the CSA attackers, now defenders, into last stand, and the Union original defending team, now attacking, took the point at 1. They changed their rules to where you can only turtle during taken losses, and it seems like they just outright banned it for our season. So, with that all being said, Iron Brigade's trying to quickly retake the point back. You don't blame them, right? You want to regain some tickets, you want to move quick on it. And they only went in by themselves, and so Davis Brigade and Pickett's Brigade held them off pretty quickly. Meanwhile, the rest of the CSA is starting to shift over to this Union right side. It looks like the flags have despawned. So, with the capture mechanics, right, Union captured the point depending on the morale stage of the defender. The gold timer, which is the amount of time the attacker needs to hold to win, it varies, right? So if the defenders are in battle ready, it's 20 minutes. Since CSA is engaged, it's only 12 minutes. So Union has to hold for 12 minutes to win the game. But here comes CSA with their flags. Looks like they're kind of ignoring the Union here. Some are. Maybe they're going to sweep on the flank. Union reinforcements stringing down from the top of the hill right now. Union hits engage. Union morale doesn't matter because CSA regains. Assuming they take the point. So CSA, real good job grouping up as a large part of the team, and they just swept through the Union, getting 1 flag. They're going to keep going here. Got 28th Mass up top with some PB guys, and they're just, CSA's going to keep going. And that bucking ball is going to be powerful to the CSA side. CSA and the taken losses. Sorry, CSA tickets don't matter. Union tickets kind of do, because CSA regains up to that. I might have explained that wrong. Apologies.
shoulder. On his shoulder.
So more Union reinforcements start showing up. Union trying to protect the flag. CSA rightly so are trying to charge and get those flags down. If they can do that, Union can't spawn up in the fight. And the 11th Mississippi, who were the last Union group to now show up, are charging in the rear of the CSA, kind of doing a similar thing. Although I don't know how well it'll work just because they're very outnumbered. So at this point, if you're Union right, the point is nearly lost. I mean, we could see CSA essentially almost has control of the field, right? So CSA is regaining tickets up to where Union's at. So at this point, if you're Union, right, one, you want to try to charge in as many guys as you can. Even if you have a few guys, right, you want to charge in, because if you can somehow miraculously win, then obviously you hold the point, and that's a good thing. Because the point of an early capture is to keep bringing everyone's tickets down while stopping the time. It's allowing you as an attacker to have more time attacking and dealing a ticket loss. So if you hold the counterattack for a longer period of time, that's obviously great. You can win if you hold it outright. So that's why you want to charge him. But the other thing too, right, is CSA is regaining up to the percentage of tickets where Union is at. So if Union right now loses a crap ton of tickets, that means CSA can't regain as many. So those are kind of the two reasons why you want to be aggressive, especially towards you losing. Obviously, this case that we just saw is kind of a little different, but in the general sense, that's what you want to do. But CSA kind of pushed Union out. They kept following the flags, so the flags were kind of far away, just trying to survive. Not a whole lot of Union there. So nice couple arty shots there that honestly that didn't even matter in the end, because CSA just regained a good chunk of tickets. They're now even with Union, a little less than halfway through engaged. And again, Union's still in a good spot as an attacker. As long as you keep the tickets even, you're doing pretty dang good. But obviously, you would like to have a ticket lead. So Union's down 2 flags. Really great counterattack from CSA. They grouped up nearly as a team and just pushed straight through. Union was a little spread out. CSA took advantage, defeated in detail, got a couple flags, and now regained a lot of tickets. And they responded pretty fast, too, after the Union counterattack. So really, really well done on their part.
Load, quickly, load.
But the question's going to be at this point is, can the Union repeat what they did at the beginning of the match? Can they deal enough ticket loss like they did before? CSA is starting to kind of return to those original defensive positions. Which, again, it was surprising to see Union kind of break through the CSA like that. But, of course, we'll see what happens.
Crab meat is yummy. How about that? Wow, dumb questions all around.
Difficult philosophical questions, okay?
I think that would be artificial crab, artificial meat. If it was, you know.
Guys, we're not equipped.
42nd and 3rd killer just sitting here. I don't know if CSA sees him or not. Okay, yeah, they definitely can. Flag kind of goes away.
Up and over the fence. Over left.
Up and over.
I think you got some shenanigans up here as well. CSA getting real aggressive. Really bold. They're trying to move as a team, maybe pick the Union apart while they're still spread out. I mean, they're winning on that side, but 42nd and 30th are completely in the rear side of the CSA team here. And I mean, a couple of those CSA flags are back. The whole CSA group is trying to move up this way. CSA, though, I think kind of half of them turn around to try to get 42nd and 30th. They will be able to win that considering the reinforcement are moving down, but CQB decided to stay up front. They're kind of taking the brunt of this Union main spawn team, which looks like they're now going to fall back here. So, surprisingly, out of all of that, no one lost a flag. Real good flag discipline there. And tickets-wise, Union's up by a little bit of tickets. So, these engagements are not, these close-quarter combats outside of the one we saw over there from the CSA team. It hasn't really worked out for CSA. I mean, for the most part, Union is just kind of more blobbed up than the CSA side, which numbers aside, about 90% of this game.
Southwest, южане перебегают. Southwest enemy, штыки вперед, принять атаку, блядь.
So, CSA, nearly their whole team is grouped up here. Actually, Union flag still down there. One of them looks like that is despawned, and Union is starting to inch their way closer. DB, 12th BA, 28th Mass moving down. CSA is getting aggressive again. CSA down to taking losses, but Union shortly to follow.
Come on, get more men into the core and hit C. Spread out. Hit C, hit C.
So you've got, who's that? HL. They're swooping around the backside. They're trying to get that Union flag over there. Meanwhile, IB and FSB are charging straight into the Union group here. Union guys here, some of them are just not even seeing them because they're focused on the CSA right in front of them.
What are you doing? Refund the game. Refund the game. What are you doing, dude? Just refund the game. What are you doing?
Raise the boys! Kill this Rambo! Nice kill.
It's like HL engaging with a couple of those Union guys. More CSA pouring up exactly what CSA need to do. You can't let IB and FSB be up here on their own.
Run flag! Flag! You better run, you damn flag! Shoot the flags if you've got a shot.
So, I mean, really good moves here from the CSA side, right? They did that together, and I mean, that's a lot of it, right? If FSIB just go in there on their own, maybe they don't win that, but the rest of the CSA saw, they moved in. Really good coordination from them there. But, again, the only thing that matters in this game is the tickets. And is that working out for the CSA? Right now, no. So, a little unfortunate if you're cheering for any of the groups here on the CSA side, but I mean, that's the thing. We don't necessarily know the ticket advantage of the attacking Union side, but they're doing pretty well. So Union, I think, rightly just kind of falling back, reforming. Looks like that flag over there despawned, so Union has all 4 of their flags back. Union just, again, can't blame them, right? They kind of got overrun, sure. They have the ticket lead, but you don't want to just go stringing in independently because eventually that might bite you in the butt. So, good response here from the Union team. And, again, they've got 20 minutes at this point, over 20 minutes. You want to hit the defender down to taking losses, which the defenders are already at the 20-minute mark. So, I mean, attackers are doing absolutely beautiful here. They have that ticket lead again. And, again, Green Campaign, a lot of these matches in this event always seem to be exception to the rule, and I don't ever know why. I'll be intrigued to see the skirmishing and out-of-line deaths here for the CSA side at the end of this, but it's always fascinating. So, Union nearly has everyone back in. Meanwhile, CSA are kind of setting up right on the corner here. Which, again, right, I mean, if I were Union,
Dracula flow is hilarious.
those flags are giving away your position. I mean,
on 12 Jason Bourne.
okay, maybe not from here, but, I mean, even if you just go up a little bit, up over here where Lucian is looking at, which he's trying to see where Union's at with flags. I mean, he's got maybe a little bit of an angle, but it looks like Union's not even going to go in the core, and they're just charging straight down the center side, kind of hitting the flank here of the CSA.
Pour it in! Come on, what are you guys doing? Pour it in! Shoot them!
CSA instantly shift. They got to get their whole team over here. They can't have half their team right in the front line here, and the other half sitting back, especially when Union's starting to concentrate right here.
Aim low.
I mean, there's not really any good places for the CSA to go. They could go right here. They could try to go in the open field, but obviously that is an open field, and it looks like they're going to kind of opt for that. But Union are kind of gunning it right up the center.
Independent fire, CQB!
Independent fire!
On the line, on the line, on the line. On the line.
And Union flank is starting to get around. More CSA have shown up, though, and these FSB guys are going straight in right on PB.
Cinema, absolute fucking cinema.
CSA charging in the corn, too? Looks like they are. Meanwhile, you got, I assume that's 42nd and 30th in the backside, which is why these charges are working great for CSA. Union just kind of being defeated in detail here. Still not working for tickets, though, for CSA. So, rest of the Union up top, charge in, PB. Again, just maybe trying to deal a ticket loss there. Union might be down 2 flags there, but they should be able to recover those. So you got another Union flag here, and then that last one is down here, which now 42nd and 30th is charging in. So they're going to get a flag or so down for a moment.
Pick up the flag. Pick up the flags.
So the Union side in the end, again, that was a successful charge for Union. Again, did it gain them ground? Did they lose their flags? No and yes, but I mean, they're up by a third of a morale stage right now, and CSA is going to hit breaking. Want to hit the defender down to breaking by the 10-minute mark. They've cleared that by a mile, and at this point, if Union do capture the point, they can win. But I assume they're not going to let that happen.
Is that them behind us?
Good job, boys. Good.
East, northeast.
So, I mean, a lot of those Union flags are in the range of being retrievable. So, Union got all their flags back. I mean, sure, these flag guys died, but they got them back enough to where their friendlies could get it. Because it's not like CSA is going to push a forward line, right? Because that's the thing. If you can get your opponent's flags down, like we saw with Union earlier, you want to push past and make sure they can't get them. But if the flag is so far in a bad spot that there's no point in getting it, it's still a great spot. So, attackers going to spend their time to reform. CSA about to hit breaking. And at this point, or in a moment rather, the Union side is going to force the CSA into breaking. And if the CSA side's in breaking, that's not good, because CSA is going to be forced to stay near the point. Now, it looks like for the most part they're going to stay to where they've been this whole round, which is a little surprising. Again, right, point of contention is back here. It's kind of downhill, as you can see from this elevation here. It crests about around here. And I mean, where the CSA team is at, if Union just dives bombs over to the side, just runs up the cannons there, and just sits on point, CSA is going to be forced out into the open. If I were Union, I would almost consider doing something like that. Because here's the thing, just zooming out, right? Union's going to have a jump on the CSA by like 10-15 seconds. If the whole Union team guns it over here to the forest first, they have a good shot at getting there before the CSA does. So, and if they get over on this side of the map, I mean, CSA can try to sit up here, but they're in the open, and Union can just slowly push up. Sure, it's very hilly here, and obviously looking down here, you can't really see anything up here, but I mean, if Union just pushes up into the caissons, they got a great thing all day. So, unfortunately for that idea, though, CQB and starting to move out here.
Charge him out.
Holy
Kill every last one.
Shoot these sacks of shit!
Shoot him. Shoot him.
Oh! Get on these caissons!
So that one happened, but Union instead just going straight. It almost feels like CSA. Almost Union a little bit. Here we go. Union putting pressure up the center here. And so while those shots being popped off, 20th Mass, 12th VA are going in on First Delaware and FSIB. And CSA up on the top of the hill, now starting to collapse and do a little end around here, trying to get on the flank. Why is Union going in piecemeal? DB now going in, PB as well, Midwest. I mean, this is just a mess. Everything's happening at once. Feels like you're watching Conquest almost.
Keep it up.
I'm low. I'm low. I'm on the knees. I'm on the knees, CQB. I'm low. Take the fence.
Shoot! Keep shooting!
Maintain independent on the fence.
I mean, that's the crazy thing is CSA's winning every single one of, for the most part, every single one of these engagements, and they're down tickets. Union's won this side though. But Union's up on manpower right now. CSA actually has 2 more infantry, but Union has 3 more overall. So CSA, I like that they stayed together. They have lost this side of the map though, and they're still down tickets. Man.
PB up and over the fence.
I guess the ticket balance has been pretty good, that 7.5%, because it's been close matches the few times I've seen this. Union still ends up winning them. And I mean, with maps where one side is buck and ball and the other side doesn't, you have to give an advantage to the team who doesn't have buck and ball in terms of tickets. Just make up for how powerful the buck and ball is. So, this map, maybe you could argue for CSA a little bit more tickets, 5-10%, something alongside of that. I would not mind that at all. I would make this a very close map.
I fucking.
Oh no.
Okay, I'm not good.
What is CSA? What are you doing over here? What is HL doing? You're getting a couple kills, but you have like 10-15 guys over here. And you're just 10-15 guys are out of the fight, and you're leaving your team outnumbered here. Now, Union might not necessarily know, but if Union decides to charge in, CSA is going to be down a good chunk of infantry guys, and 10-15 guys is a good amount. So, Union and breaking. CSA down half a morale stage, trying to do a two-pronged assault here, which again is risky. Union main spawns are now pushing out and pushing HL. I mean, if Union just Union can defeat CSA in detail so easily right now. FSIB is pushing around the backside. Union CM are starting to move to them already. Lucian got domed off the rip.
Fucking mow him down. Murder him. No, hold him back. Jeez.
HL just getting out of there pretty. Maybe HL wiped the group because there is a Union group respawning, but it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell. And so numbers do eventually pull out there. First Delaware JD guys, now 12th VA turns around to assist PB, moving in as well for Union.
Shoot anyone without a name tag.
Stay humble, King. Stay humble, King. Stay humble.
Stay on the fence.
So Union will eventually take, despite they should be able to hold that, but CSA is about to hit last stand any second, and that means they can't respawn. If you are dead when you hit last stand, you automatically respawn, so that the defenders at least have one full wave left.
Oh, I'm out of stamina. Fuck.
Wow. Wow. Because, I mean, there's been a couple questionable moves by CSA, but at least since the counterattack, they haven't done. It's hard to tell, right? We've only seen, just watching this, right? We've only got one sample size of this map, and so it's like, do you think CSA should get more tickets or not? I could argue they definitely need more. I mean, CSA has made some questionable decisions this round, and you could definitely argue that why Union has such a huge ticket lead. But, I mean, CSA has played awfully aggressive this round as a totality, and that just does not seem to work on this map, even with CSA having buck and ball. So, this definitely seems maybe like one of those maps where CSA just kind of has to try to play it slow, play the clock, right? Because, I mean, for most of this round, CSA has been aggressive, and that just hasn't been working for them at all. I mean, there's a couple times where a CSA group would just charge around on their own, and sure they do some damage, but they take way more as a result. You can do that stuff as an attacker, not so much as a defender, but obviously circumstances matter. So, CSA hits last stand. You can see there's a good chunk of guys over there that just spawn back in. Union's kind of hitting hard on both sides right now. And they're going to start off with a 1-0 today.
Don't shoot the flags! Don't shoot the flag!
Don't bother with their flag.
Get it out of here.
Stay humble, Merc.
Let's go. Kill these guys.
So CSA kind of doing a last glorious charge here, and I mean, this is what you generally do now. It doesn't matter at this point. At this point, Union's won the match. However, if you are ever a team and the match is close and the attacking or the defenders hit last stand first, if you're a defender, you want to try to get the attackers in the final push as quick as possible.
Defense blow those loads.
If the attackers hit final push, it drops the black timer down to a couple minutes. They still have infinite spawns, but more importantly, you only cut the round down to a couple minutes. So it puts a lot of stress on the attacker, potentially. So, I like CSA charging here. At least just being aggressive. Don't just sit back and slowly die out, right? At least try to get the attacker down if you can. Which, again, this round I don't think anything kind of mattered for that. Or, at least now it kind of doesn't matter anymore.
Kill them all. Kill them all.
Живи со славой, умри с честью, ебло. Пиздец.
Kill them all.
So CSA do almost win that. I mean, they didn't fully wipe Union up here, but that's why you got to get the flags out. I mean, these flags respawn someone every 5 seconds. You got 4 flags. That's 4 guys every 5 seconds, and it's just a lot. It's very hard to actually wipe a group these days unless you're quick and sweeping,
Get these damn flags up.
just because of how fast people can respawn in the game. I didn't like that change when it first came out, but
Справа, 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 справа.
Come on, Foot.
when you can get up to 400 players on a server, you know, it would suck to be sitting in a respawn page for like 3 minutes. So I can kind of get the change now. It makes a little more sense with the increased player pop. Also, the increased accuracy update that happened a while ago at this point also made shooting a viable strategy again. Shooting was so inaccurate over a year ago. And when you had people spawning in like crazy and the guns are really inaccurate, it's, you know, it's like you can't shoot somebody out of a position. Because, mind you, also during that flag change where they did from 10-second spawns to 5-second spawn, they also increased, made it so that each death was worth 20% less tickets. And so shooting was just really bad, even though the devs always said that they wanted shooting to kind of be important because that's what they actually did historically. It's not like they charged all the time. So the increased shooting accuracy, the better spawn, has at least made me, the increased accuracy and the increased server pop has made me feel better about the 5-second spawns. I still kind of don't like it though, but it is what it is. So anyways, really good first round by the Union side. I have to guess it's CSA playing aggressive is the reason why they struggled, because it seemed, even though they had the bucket ball, nothing they did could produce them in a ticket. Union just was playing well. They weren't doing anything crazy, Union, but they were just playing good War of Rights, sticking together for the most part, and that seemed to do pretty well for them. CSA is kind of taking a lot of skirmishing and out of lines there pretty quickly, which also definitely seems to lean in towards that. So with that all being said, good first round. Really well done by the Union side. I'm pretty sure they don't switch sides for a second round. But yeah, I'm excited to see Burnside's bridge. That is an acceptable as anyways, we'll see you round 2. And here we are with the start to our second round, the Burnside's bridge. So the developers gave 2 big changes to defenders, and I've heard the combining of these things makes it really difficult for Union. The first is that they gave 10% more tickets to the defending team. It goes from a 56% attacker advantage down to a 46% attacker advantage. So that change is kind of iffy in my books, just on its own, right? Because in the past, right, if the Union charges across the bridge and goes left or right, which the Union has to do, right? They spawn in, they have to go across the bridge, they got to get to the point over here, and once they get to the left or right side, they just kind of push up the hill on this left side and just hold in this general area here. There's a nice depth plate they can hold in that's kind of on point there. Or if they go down this right side, they can push up and head over here. CSA defense strategy to counter that is you have your bridge. Your bridge is the advantage of this map. If Union get across, it's over for you. So the moment Union gets across, CSA just charges down into the Union and tries to wipe them. Now, before the update, the matches were always pretty close. So I don't get why CSA was given 10% tickets overall. But regardless, be intrigued. But I think the bigger change is that you can see these CSA guys are here. This used to be out of bounds for CSA. Now it is in bounds for CSA. So it used to be CSA could not get up and kind of body block the bridge, but if they want to, they can. And I've seen a lot of cinematic shots of that, but it can make it very difficult if Union just can't get across. Because, I mean, Union can hop up onto the bridge and try to jump down, but you can die to fall damage at a pretty short range as well. So I'll be intrigued to see how CSA wants to play this. And if CSA wants to try to body block and play close on the bridge, they can. But we'll see. Union weapons on this map, they got the 51st and the 51st New York and the 2nd Maryland both have the Springfield 61s. CSA defense, on the other hand, they have the 2nd Georgia with the Ounce of the Lorenz and the Springfield's 42. They also have the 20th Georgia with the Enfield and the Mississippi. So I just saw that in the text chat there will be a charge at 41 from the Union side, and they will not be bringing their flags up. This is kind of something we've seen as of late, and as of late, it's like 1.5 to 2 years at this point. It feels like time flies by when you're having fun. But if you bring your flags up, right, they have the fast respawn time. When you bring your flags forward, it means you're trying to take ground. That's how I like to interpret it. If you don't charge with your flags, play aggressive with your flags, that just means you're trying to deal a ticket loss. Now, I think what Union's doing is they just want to go across, deal a ticket loss to the CSA, especially if CSA can get up here, and they either don't want to lose their flags on the bridge or lose them on this side of the creek because of that 5-minute despawn timer. Now, it's not necessarily the worst thing in the world, but it is what it is. Because regardless, Union's going to have to charge across in the end. But here goes Union. Where's CSA? A lot of Union are actually getting across here. Way more than what normally is. So CSA already starting to move into collapse. Union already just misses that. 42nd and 30th go straight up the center while the rest of the Union's kind of going down the river. Again, they did not bring their flag, so they're just trying to deal damage, which is why there's kind of no unity to this charge here. Seems like Union's trying to see if they can get a foothold and then bring their flags across. So they're partially winning from where we're looking at, but there's a lot of CSA left. Union also, while the charge is going on, by keeping their flags back, their guys are respawning and they can charge forward very quickly again.
Yeah, fuck off, I didn't miss you, big leg, sit down, pussy.
Come here, Bubs! You're dead, Bubs! Come here, Bubs! There you go, Bubba. Eat that dirt, Bubba! There you go, eat that dirt, little boy! Eat that dirt, little boy!
Kill the wankers.
Oh, fuck.
So CSA hold that, unsurprisingly there, eventually wiping the Union. Union overall did pretty good. Now looking at our tickets here, they're pretty dang even right now. Some 20th Mass, actually 4 dudes from different regiments are going across. I don't know why. I don't know if they're just trying to keep CSA on their toes. You got a couple more Union guys just crossing.
Oh, cheeky bastards. Good shit.
Watch out, Nell. Good stuff, man.
Thanks, Doug. Keep up.
Pull kits here, boys.
We really should ban you, you know?
Российская, блядь.
Do what you must, I've already won.
It was pretty crabby, don't tell lie.
Я несу счастье, а вы? Я несу трогатель. Я несу трогатель, нормально, да?
Я несу. Заряжай.
Сука!
Такие уж всем примыкать нашу ваши любимые стрелки, потому что нам вы хуй постреляйте, а ебало вам там...
So the Union team forming up. We'll probably just do what they did again. I think it's overall fairly even at the end of that charge, so good to see at least. I remember that at one point the CSA side, their strategy was to just sit back here on the stone wall here. They would just go back and sit here, just let the Union across, and then the thing is that point's in the center here, and so CSA sits back basically almost turtling, and Union just has full control of the map. And CSA never won that way. It made the map so uninteresting. At least uninteresting in the sense of, you know, when you play Burnside's Bridge, you have a similar expectation to River's Crossing where the attackers just charge nonstop. At least across this bridge. And it just was the complete opposite of that. It's a good arty shot. Union's got about to go in 4 seconds.
The 42nd PA crab tails.
Question is, CSA is really spread out. I think they're just spreading out because of Union arty. But, I mean, it's letting a lot of Union kind of get across. And it looks like they're not bringing their flags again. A lot of Union are getting across here, more than what normally do. CSA's really not guarding the bridge.
Coming up.
Hold on, let me get my cap.
Kill, kill, kill. Kill, kill, kill.
Oh my goodness. Union's starting to get a ticket lead. Is CSA... I mean, these charges are very spread out. I don't know if CSA is just taking more and skirmishing out of line because they're down on tickets right now. They're about to hit engage.
Hey, they're by the brick, boys.
Get that flag up, get that flag up. Bring it back over
Coming
here.
over.
I don't know why the hell it was over there. Get that flag. Get this flag up.
There they go.
On the stall, let's go. Reform.
So, I mean, you got a couple Union guys left over here.
I know that now.
Stay together, stay together.
Charge him, charge him, charge him.
And you still have a couple Union guys over here. That's something we did never look at the beginning of the round, balance. 277, Union's down by 1 right now, artillery-wise. Union has 8, CSA has 5. So CSA has 2 more infantry on the map. But this is really surprising that Union's up on tickets right now. Again, right, these rounds were pretty close before the update, but I mean, the thing is that normally what happens, right, is Union, their whole team will just bank it down to one side, and then CSA as a team kind of encapsulates them and then collapses. Union's really spreading out their charges, which normally you would say is a really, really bad thing, but it's simultaneously spreading out CSA, and some of the Union blobs seem to be winning these charges. At least that's what it seems. And I mean, maybe CSA is just losing a lot in skirmishing and out of line as well. But I mean, that's what kind of happens when you have these charges, for sure. So the CSA, oh my goodness, Union.
Get to the corner, over by the bridge, over by the bridge.
I just got a new office chair and I just forgot how far back I could, you know. But yeah, Union's going to charge at 33 here. CSA's going to... Another thing, too, is that, look, CSA's not sitting in front of the bridge, and Union's getting a lot of guys. I think it's 2 things, but if CSA just doesn't let a lot of guys cross, I think this is a different story, potentially. Most likely. So, Union's going to charge in 20-some seconds again. You heard Flores down there, potentially.
More vodka, yes.
Hey, South boys.
You better change some shit. It's been too long.
And here's the thing too, right? Union's holding a lot of their shots, right? It makes sense. You want to hold your shot, you want to have it when you charge in. But if you're CSA, you can kind of tell when Union's going to charge if they start holding their shots. Now, I wasn't really paying attention to see if Union was holding shots before, but I guess I'll look next time. But if Union's shooting and then they stop, CSA is like, okay, they're going to charge him. Maybe we should collapse a little closer to the bridge just so they're there. But look how many Union are just getting across. CSA is not killing anybody. And that volley just completely missed. I don't know why there's a couple Union guys skirmishing over there, but look how much of the Union team is getting across here. That's an insane amount.
Come on, hippies! Come on, hippies!
So CSA sweep through, kind of missing Union group that goes unheard of. Meanwhile, the bulk of the Union team gets across and are charging into a sizable CSA force. And now CSA's down a fourth of the morale sage. What is happening?
Clear him up.
Good shot.
Watch your friendlies, guys. Watch your
I'm not kidding. This is ridiculous.
CQB, rally
on Dixie.
CQB, rally on Dixie. My stamina.
I see you, Roy. I see you.
Alright, with this shot, I'm gonna snipe Abraham Lincoln.
They're doing it fire, boys. Southeast, that's a friendly, don't shoot him.
I'm coming.
This is terrible. This is terrible from CSA. Terrible. You can't, again, the biggest advantage for CSA on the map is the fact that the whole Union team has to cram in a tiny area. When you don't use that to your advantage, you don't win the game. That's just Burnside's bridge for you, right? So,
Dude, I think I accidentally climbed this fucking branch right here. This branch right here.
Wow. That was fast.
so,
Oh my god.
yeah, again, your one advantage on this map is that you have a bridge that the whole Union team has to concentrate. It's like, imagine playing Rivers Crossing, which that's a Harper's Ferry map where the CSA have to charge across the bridge. That's probably 3 to 4 times the length of this. And once they get across, they're right on point, basically. And the Union just sets up and shoots them down. No one plays the map anymore. But, especially since the developers gave the Union 7.5, or was it 5% more tickets? Anyways, they gave them more tickets for no reason at all. But, it's just, why aren't you using the map to your advantage, right? It's like, if Rivers Crossing, if Union just sat back and let the CSA cross the really long bridge. Like, why would a Union ever do that, right? It's the same exact thing here. Now, obviously, maybe CSA's, like, we played aggressive last round and didn't work, but this is a different map. I don't know why they're doing this, but CSA has to change it up. I mean, it's obvious in the fact that they're down on tickets, right? You can't keep doing the same thing and expect it to work most of the time. So, CSA looks like they're a little closer. At least half their team is moving closer. Some Union guys are still up here, which is kind of funny.
What'd you say?
If you shoot him, it's gonna go through him like he's a ghost.
But CSA they need to bunch it down on the bridge right away. Or they just need to charge in. They're getting close. Let's see if they hit any shots here. Oh, that guy just fell off the bridge. He just jumped off. Alright, where's the CSA volley? CSA's doing the same thing. They're getting a little closer though, so I can appreciate that, but a lot of Union are going across. Now HL, CSA, and more are going in. Too late though. and they only went in by themselves. The Union kind of won that in the end. I mean, CSA are going to hold up here, but CSA is down to taking losses here, and Union's up almost about a third of a stage right now. I can appreciate CSA slowly starting to adapt. You still have time to do that, but not a whole lot.
Looks clear. Looks clear.
So, I mean, yeah. So, you know, CSA is starting to get a little more aggressive. That's at least a good thing to see there. Right, sure, Artie might be a little bit of a danger for the CSA side, but most of the time they're either going to miss or they're not going to knock down a couple guys and then maybe kill a couple. And then those guys that would die will respawn within 15-20 seconds, right? Artie's not going to be the worst thing in the world. Sure, they're going to lose some tickets from it, but you're going to lose a lot more tickets if you just let the Union cross. So, this round so far is more of an indictment of poor CSA play than poor Union play. I mean, there's not a whole lot Union can do on this map, really, especially when CSA contests Union crossing. There's really not a whole lot Union can do.
Because of us, over here. You can see him right there on the street. Right in front of us, boys. They're on the street right there. You can see him.
Hello, Artie. But it's a question of, is it too late? Union's got a ticket lead. Can the CSA work it back? So, because as of right now, it looks like that ticket, like, obviously small sample size, and that's kind of the issue with the data that the developers are gathering for the maps, right? Obviously, I think it's a great thing to start doing that. What they're doing is they're making a new company tool where people can make their regiments on it. They had an old one, but it was pretty crappy, so they disbanded it. But now they're making a new one. You can argue if it's a good thing or not. But one of the things that they're doing with it is they are keeping track of every War of Rights match played, keeping track of the round, who won, and I assume all the other information that comes with it. The thing is that there are not enough War of Rights matches played to tell what is necessarily a good ticket balance change at this time. Because you might see Burnside's bridge between pubs and regimentals like once or twice a week at most. And so it's too small data to decide because sure, you can see who wins a round, how much they win by the casualties, right? But that doesn't always tell you how the round was played. And maybe they have little screens like the after action report where they show where everyone went. Maybe they keep track of those, I don't know. But even if you do, trying to watch every single match of War of Rights, it's difficult, right? There's a lot of different players, different weapons on each map. There's so much to balance. It's an impossible job. Some things are obvious, some are not. But anyways, Union's going across. CSA's playing a little more aggressive now. Good to see it. Oh, there. That's what we need to see. Really, that's what we need to see from CSA. Great volley. And now they're going to charge in. A lot better than before.
Keep going, boys. Keep going.
It's like, but the whole CSA team's got to go, and CSA already even getting into the fun now. But, like, here's the thing, right? You have CSA charging in here. You have CSA kind of charging in here. And then you have a good chunk just sitting back and shooting. It's like the guy sitting back and shooting, you just got to charge in. Right? No room for anything for Union. With the 10% increase in tickets, you would think there should be no way CSA should be down on tickets on this map. So, that's exactly what CSA needs to do. I think they could do a little more, but that was really well done. Just a start. So it's good to see they're at least changing. Union has taken losses, and I mean CSA, they barely took any, but the bars are visually longer than what we see. So it's like someone hits a new morale stage and it takes a minute or so before they drop, and then once they start dropping in the stage, they'll start dropping. So looks like they're going to charge 20 flat now, and they're going to go to the right. At least that's what I see popping up in the chat. Man. So maybe some Union guys over here. I mean, the next couple of charges are really going to kind of decide how the rest of this round is going, because if CSA plays more aggressive and it doesn't start giving CSA the ticket gap back, like it doesn't help CSA in terms of tickets, then it's too late. But we'll see. We'll see. The thing is, too, is that this stuff should at least be noticeable from playing on the field, right? At least if you're CSA, right? If you know your whole team's just kind of sitting back, you can kind of react, and CSA saw that, and they reacted, so props to them on that part. So they said 20 flat, I think I saw. 20 flat. They definitely could do it for, yeah, they're changing the 21. I'm like, yeah, they could definitely do it now. But that's the thing, too, is that because the attackers have such a large ticket lead on this map, and I mean, this applies to all the maps where the attackers have a ticket advantage, which is most of them, right? In a shootout, there's so many variables going into if a shot actually hits, like the accuracy of the person, the sway of the weapon, elevation changes, suppression. There's some more stuff I could probably name as well, but there's so many factors going into it that generally I like to think kills are a 1-to-1 trade, which means generally tickets are a 1-to-1 trade as well, and since the attackers have more tickets overall, it's a 1-to-1 trade. The defenders are going to hurt a little more from a shootout than the attackers. So, we'll see. So, the Union's starting to stop their fires. It should kind of be a little bit of a tell for the CSA side. And, obviously, CSA will have time. And, I don't know if Union Infantry and Arty is communicating, but the Union Arty needs to be shooting all their guns when Union's at about halfway across the bridge. That's when they need to do it. Because here's the thing, right? CSA's charging in. Imagine if Union already shoots in and kills a couple and knocks down a lot. Like, you know how huge that would be for Union? That was perfect. That was perfect. And that middle volley just didn't happen there. Sure, Union are still dying, but, you know, that stops a lot of the shooting for a second and lets guys get through. So, Union gets some through to the right side. CSA, though, instantly collapsing in. Union's so up on tickets for the moment.
You are dead. No! Get the hell out of here! This is our side of jail.
So, Union is sending... Are they trying to get to that stone wall?
God, yes, let's go.
This is what I was sitting in this bush. You're gonna see my dead body here.
So, I mean, you got about 10 Union guys that made it through in the end. And actually, the tickets have fairly evened out here. So, yeah, it is. If CSA can do this a couple more times, they're going to get a ticket lead.
Let's whoop them, boys. Let's whoop them.
So, they get wiped there. Next Union charge is going to be 1730. And exactly as mentioned a moment ago, at least Flores, the token leader for the CSA campaign on Union, is telling the Arty to shoot their shots once they go across, which they should. Now, there are a bunch of guns over here, which unfortunately the Union can't use. But if they could, that'd be pretty funny. Just look how many guns there are. Holy crap. How many are there? 2? 6? About 30 some guns right there. Like, it's absurd. Oh. Interesting. I didn't realize it despawned like that right there. Huh. I wonder if it's like that on Limestone Bridge. That's the oh. Nope. I wonder if that's what it's like on Limestone Bridge, the Conquest map that fights over here. Because the out of bounds on Limestone Bridge is somewhere over there. Interesting. Anyways. Union gonna charge in about 30 some seconds. If I were Union, I would charge at like 17:45. Because the thing is, right, is that an arty shot, if it hits, right, someone's gonna be impacted for about 5 to 10 seconds at most. And so you want the arty to hit like right as the infantry is about to go in. You don't want arty to shoot and then infantry go in. Because CSA will have enough time to recover. Alright, but at least Artie's listening. There's one shot. It didn't hit much. Alright, I thought there'd be a little more than one shot. Well, the one-shot salvo, as they say. Oh, I heard another Artie shot. That's a great shot there.
I get shot again.
How am I alive? How am I alive? How am I alive?
So Union just going to that right side as it can. Union needs to hit an arty shot there as well. A couple of Union guys go off the left because they see some CSA there, but I mean that was a good arty shot, but that was not really a salvo. Union up on tickets. A brilliant arty shot there. Would have been nice to have that a little sooner, but, you know, you take what you can get. So both sides about to drop into braking. CSA is going to fall first, presumably. So, CSA falls to braking. They hold that, and we'll see what Union wants. I mean, Union's just going to keep it up at this point. I mean, they have a slight tick lead at this point. CSA's brought it back. They're still not in the lead, though. It seems like they're knocking off about a fourth of a morale stage at this point. For each stage, roughly. Maybe a little less than that. But, of course, we'll see what happens. So, let's see. I don't know what they're talking about here. Why are the tickets so bad? Please next time charge, Mark. Alright, I mean, again, right? This is not so much as Union now charging bad, right? Now that CSA is starting to catch back up, Unions are breaking. Again, this is not the Union side doing worse. It is simply CSA is playing better. And again, it's not like Union can really do much about that. Really, they can't. The most they can do is have Artie hit some well-timed, well-placed shots.
He's playing the mobile version.
So, with that all being said, CSA still's got a pretty good window despite the kind of really slow start on their part. Union Artie, really the only chance CSA has is Union has anyways is Union Artie. So, and again, there's not too many places that CSA can go on this map, so there should be no reason why Union would miss shots. Where's this guy named? Oh. Nice.
They hit the wall a couple times.
Oh, just two. Evidently we
So 13 minutes, I think I saw. Now it'd be intriguing because each side basically at the same morale stage. How big of a lead is the CSA going to get in this charge? I haven't heard that in a while. I don't remember what that is off the top of my head. So this charge is going to kind of decide it here. Not necessarily decide it, but it's going to tell. If CSA can get a lead, they'll probably win this game. I'm not even going to lie. Because Union's got about 3 charges left in this game. And I mean, if CSA is getting a fourth of a morale stage each time lead, I mean, they're going to be up by a half morale stage towards the end of the... Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Wow, wow, wow. Speaking of great arty, CSA. And then the infantry should be shredding these guys any second now. Holy crap. How are these shots missing? Anyways, Union's going across. So, I mean, Union's got a couple of guys straggling on each side, charging, and CSA actually down on tickets. Alright, maybe Union's not going to go down yet, per se. And they're charging forward. You still got a sizable force over here from Union, mostly PB guys. Union's starting to drop through braking as well. Maybe it's not a fourth of a morale stage, but... I mean, so this is what I'm kind of getting out of this so far. First, Delaware, I like the aggression.
On the backside, behind us.
I'll say what I was going to say in a second.
Fucking dropped.
So here's the thing, right? Union was up by, what, a half morale stage difference at some point, and CSA has brought it completely back. And this just means if CSA would have done that at the beginning of the round, they would be winning this. And the 10% ticket boost that CSA got back is really unwarranted. What did I even rate that in that video? I should have put it down at F tier. Where'd I put it? Where'd I put it? I put it at D tier.
Like 30 seconds. 30 seconds.
Yeah, it's definitely E or F tier. This was not a good change. I mean, you could maybe argue CSA getting like maybe 5%, but I mean, the fact that CSA's brought it back a half morale stage, if they would have done this the whole game, they'd be up by a whole morale stage, roughly. So, and that's way too much. So, you could maybe keep the tickets even was probably the way to go. So, Union's going at 10. Oh, they changed it to 9 last second. So I mean, CSA, obviously they've got a gun pointed at that. The lovely soul, Wild Sad. I'm not even going to try to pronounce the back half of that name there. I pop. Well, he was going to be it, but Union had other plans. Heretic now is the honored soldier to pull the pin. See, Union's got to do a feint or something, or else they probably can't, or they can, but they probably won't. I remember the first the video. One of the videos I most remember of watching in high school, War of Rights, was General Cody video. He was an officer for the Union side on Burnside. They sent like 5 guys forward, and the whole CSA team volleyed or whatever, completely like fell for the bait, and the rest of the team charged across. It was glorious. Anyways, here we go again. Where's the other shot?
They're on our left, they're waiting,
Alright, maybe it's different. Are you kidding me? Anyways, here we go. Union's going in again. They're all gunning it left this time. Union's still up on tickets here.
Eat shit, Confederates!
CSA now charging down, trying to get Union out of here. Only a couple left. CSA now getting up into the bridge, actually. And, I mean, a couple Union guys survived. Union still up on tickets. You know, I maybe over-exaggerated how big of a lead the CSA would maybe have. I said a whole morale stage. Nah, that's maybe too much. Because I still technically haven't brought it back. So, at this point, if you're a Union, right, 8 minutes left in the game, a lot of time left. If you charge next, you're going to hit CSA in the last stand, but you're going to hit final push. So, at this point, if you're Union side, you roll a gun up to the hill. I'm kidding. Yeah, it's kind of funny, though. Union has a lot of time left. Union can just shoot this out for a couple minutes, try to get CSA into last stand, and then charge in, or they can just outright shoot it out. Because if Union gets hit the final push, it's going to be about, 3.5, 4-ish minutes down the clock. Don't necessarily know that number. The final push timer that the black timer drops to on each skirmish map is different. It's because that timer that it's dropped to, it's the amount of time it takes to get from your main spawn as an attacker to the point of contention 2 times without getting your bayonet and reload. So, it looks like I see 5:30 in the chat. And so, a little over a minute until we see the charging. I don't know what this Union gun is doing. It's kind of funny though.
We're not even stopping there. We're not even stopping there. We're going all the way to Washington with this gun. Watch this drive. They called this towed artillery.
Oh my god.
Nice already shot. So much for that. So, another one, I didn't do as much. So 30 seconds till Union charges. They're still sticking with that.
Load no, load no, load no. Hold your fire. I see you aiming, Sophie. Sophie, what are you aiming at?
So, CSA, still not in last stand. They're going to hit it though, again. If CSA hits last stand, if they die, they don't come back. However, if they were dead when the team hit last stand, they would spawn back at main, so the defenders have a whole wave. It's generally why, as an attacker, you want to hit the defender on the last stand before you charge in. And that's just because you want to charge in and hit them as their whole team has 1 respawn or 1 life left, versus charging in, killing about half of them, and then they hit last stand and half their team respawns. So, here comes Union again. CSA just needs to hit Union in the final push. Here they come. Who's going to hit it first? CSA not charging in, trying to avoid hitting last stand. Union will drop first. So, actually, that was 4:20 on the clock. Union's got a lot of time. CSA hits last stand at the same time. So, Union just needs a majority of points or bodies on the point. Start capturing it. If they capture it, they win. If they are still capturing it when the clock hits 0, an overtime phase will start. Similarly, CSA, if they have more bodies on point when the clock hits 0, they will win the game. But they got to have more bodies on point. And I mean, they still got a lot of guys left. 1 flag is down, which flags for the CSA side don't matter. That's why he charged in over there, which I don't necessarily like that per se. Flag bearers shouldn't just charge in. They should just distract if at all possible. So a couple of 12th VA guys have snuck around with some other guys, and I mean, they're killing some CSA. Some of the CSA is starting to fall back. Union is just kind of grouping up and slowly starting to cross here. Again, every kill is 1 less CSA guy in the map for a Union here. So, again, the CSA is making a mistake that they kind of did at the beginning. I know you want to sit out of the line of Union, but if you let the Union across, you're just not using the thing you have, the advantage that you have. And I like that HL's sitting down here. You got some 42nd guys here as well. That's Union, never mind. I like where HL is. I wish the whole CSA team was down here. Because eventually HL is going to be taken out here, and the rest of the CSA team And now they're starting to move down. That's good to see. There's a lot of time left on the clock. I don't think it'll be enough for CSA, though. Because 4 minutes and 20 seconds is a long time to only have one respawn left. Especially when you have Griffith looking. I mean, what, you have 138 guys on Union just pouring down at you. I mean, they're slowly going to make it happen. We'll see, though. 220. Union still has not charged their flags across once. Last few CSA starting to move down. Union already getting a couple kills as well. And Union numbers are going to prevail here in the end. Man. Union did not charge their flags once.
Saved my life, brother.
And they will have won this game. And that is just because of poor CSA play.
Get up there, boys.
Hell yeah, push that flag,
I want that red flag for my trophy collection. Get it over here.
The CSA side, if they would have just collapsed in, like we saw in the latter half of the match, CSA would have probably won this game. Because they brought it back in the end. They got Union down the final push first. So I mean, they brought it back. And you know, it is what it is. You live and learn to fight another day. 10%, definitely too much for CS. Too many tickets given to CSA, but in the end, it is what it is. So Union fully wiped CSA there. That's going to be the end of our round. And yeah, really well played. Both rounds by the Union side. Like, second round, I mean Burnsides. There's not a whole lot you can do as Union here, except the flag strategy and arty shots, but CSA made mistakes, and that is in the end why Union was able to win the way they did. So we'll note again, if you were playing in this event and you recorded or live streamed your perspective, apologies, a little jump scare there, jump scared me too. But yeah, if you are playing in this event and you want to share your live stream of your footage or an uploaded video, send me the link and I'll put it in the pinned comment in this video. But besides that, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. If you want to support the channel more, go beneath the video and hit the join button. By doing so, you can get a live stream of all the broadcasts we do. You can advertise your regiment in the bottom of our videos and get an additional broadcast per week. Besides that, other links in the description like our clips channel, daily shorts, and Discord. Anyways, I appreciate you all. Couldn't do this without you, and we'll see you in the next one. Now here's the actual outro.